You know, why you've got a pocket full of drugs? Everyone wants to be your friend because they want to share your drugs. They don't want to buy any of their own. They want to smoke yours or sniff yours or whatever, you know.
Yeah.
And it's the same with drink. You know, while you've got money in your pocket and you've got a drink, they all want to be your friend. But unfortunately, when you stop drinking, all them people go. I was on the verge of drinking and hoping that I was going to go to sleep and wouldn't wake up. I would be waking up at 5 o'clock in the morning. If I didn't have a drink, I was ill. I was shaking. I would get dry retching. Typical alcoholic symptoms. So you have to drink. It's a vicious circle. In the end, I'd probably drink 20 to 25 cans a day. I mean, I got to the point where I weighed 43 stone. I was 268 kilos. I was born in Hackney, in the Salvation Army Hospital in Mare Street. Yeah, so I was born in
How big was the family? How many brothers?
I have a brother, one brother. Lots of aunties and uncles. My mum and dad, obviously. Yeah, so we was born in London, and we used to come down to Clacton, to where we are now as children for holidays.
Yeah.
Down to Point Clare actually,
Yeah.
the caravan site. My parents, my nan, we lived in a big house in London. All of us as a family. My nan was a market trader.
Yeah.
She had a flower and a fruit stall in Ridley Road in London, which is quite a famous market. So yeah, and then we all come down to Clacton, and my dad bought the I don't know if you know the Lakeside. It was called the Hydro at the time.
A lot of people learned how to water ski there, right?
Yeah, including myself.
So I was talking to my mate Tom the other day.
Yeah.
And I think his dad was teaching you how to.
Yeah. I used to ski. Yeah, I used to ski quite a lot. So yeah, my dad bought that, and he turned it into a nightclub at the back of it, and yeah, we lived there for many years. And
what was that like back in the day? What was you seeing when you was young, growing up there?
Yeah, quite a bit actually. It was quite very good. Unfortunately, it got shut down at one point. It did get shut down. There was a terrible incident that happened in there when someone. It was a bad fight in there, and it wound up getting shut down because of the violence that was occurring in there on quite a regular basis.
Why do you think them days were like that? What was going on there?
I don't know, but I come from quite a infamous family. So my dad's friends was frequently visiting from London. They was coming down for the weekends, and I don't suppose the way they was they didn't tolerate pests or nuisances or any kind of disrespect to anyone. So maybe it was the situation.
Clash of egos and stuff.
Clash of egos, and things like that. So yeah.
So growing up, you must have seen a lot of especially growing up around a bar. You must have seen a lot of violence, a lot of deceit, and other bad things going on. Yeah.
From my father.
But it gets normalised, right? When you're young.
Yeah, for sure. It was to me. It was to me. It was just normal. I grew up in that environment. I was told to be respectful and never to disrespect anyone else. To treat people as you wish to be treated yourself. But not to be a bully. Yeah. But not to be afraid of anybody, and to do what you had to do when you needed to do it. Yeah. So yeah. Many a time I've seen my father do some pretty nasty things to some people, and I had to watch. I was made to watch it sometimes, which may be where I got some of my trauma from to where I am today. But it was part of life growing up, and if I'm honest, I wouldn't change it for the world, because I've seen it, I've done it, to the point where I've done some of it myself. I have some family members that have done some terrible things, but it's part of my life. It's part of my history, It's
part of the learning curve, right?
Yeah, you got to learn from it, and I wouldn't wish it upon anyone else. I wouldn't say that it's the best thing for anyone to go and do. Yeah. It's not the right path to go down, but it happens, and I can't change the past. Obviously, that's what it is, and that's how I was brought up.
So after Lakeside closed down, what happened after that with your dad? Because then after that he had another pub, I think, right?
Yeah, he had a pub. He had another pub, which was the Flag.
Flag was a famous one, wasn't
The
it?
Flag,
Because
yeah.
there was a lot of football going on with
A lot of football, yeah. We had a football team. I got a lot of my friends. We joined and made a football team, and it was quite successful. We'd done it for a laugh, actually. We said, "Oh, why don't we start a football team?" There was a few characters there, which you know. We started a football team off, and we actually won everything.
Yeah, I remember.
But the violence continued on and off the pitch as well there.
Again, drinking, socially
drinking, yeah.
After football, right?
After football, and even on the football pitch, the guys that had joined in with us was quite some well-known characters there. I won't mention any names, but yeah. So it was good at the time, you know. But it's affected me later on down in life, I think, a little bit. So yeah.
And so, from having the pub and the football team and that, what was it like growing up in Clacton? What was Clacton Town Centre like back in the day when you was young?
For me, it was quite good. I used to, I won't say I got picked on, and not bullied, but I found a problem in going out in Clacton because everyone knew who I was and knew who my family was, and they wanted to try and make a name for themselves by dealing with me and digging me out and provoking me into some kind of altercation. And most of the time I had to react, because that's what I was told to do. You know what I mean? I had to react, so I found myself doing some things that I shouldn't have done. Maybe getting in trouble with the police, spending some time in prison and doing other bits and pieces. You know. So yeah, really, it was quite difficult for me growing up in Clacton at the time. It was a good place. I had good friends like yourself, you know, good, genuine, honest people. But there was always the odd ones that had to make a name for themselves, or thought they had to make a name for themselves. And yeah, so it was a bit difficult at times.
I think that all of that violence around here definitely come from the drug choices. Mainly, it was a lot of it was alcohol, coke induced rage.
For
sure, a lot of the time.
For sure, yeah.
And I think that being a Brit and growing up in England, a lot of friends lost their lives or ended up in prison. That was the cocktail.
Yeah,
and that was the one that always was the most worst for them, because I think a lot of Englishmen have this aggression problem, and a lot of people bury it. And I think when you get on a drink and then you get on a coke, I think I've seen a lot of times.
was happened to me, you know. I am an addict. I was an addict. Well, I am an alcoholic. So I was an alcoholic. I'm clean now. I've been clean for 4 years, but
so lately I think this is the best I've ever seen you. Like, you're really in
a
good place.
I've lost a load of weight. I had weight loss surgery to lose a load of weight, as you know.
So growing up, I remember you saying you was overweight. You got a little bit bullied about that.
Yeah.
You know, that was always a stigma.
For
yourself, probably mentally, right?
Mentally, yeah.
And now I see you lost a load of weight, but you look really healthy. You're doing your cold water therapy, which we was with the girls earlier talking about. This time, what has been your main focus? How have you been able to go this long now sober?
Well, if I go back to the beginning, obviously my dad got dementia. I found it very hard to cope with being so close to my dad and working alongside my dad in every aspect. So we was side by side most days, working and getting up to no good and doing certain things. So yeah, that was that. So I found it very difficult when my dad got dementia. The start of it was difficult, so I started drinking to try and numb the thoughts of this situation. Unfortunately, when he passed, I went off the rails, completely went off the rails into a moment of madness, which lasted for about 15 years.
So really, to deal with the trauma, then that's when the addictions came
Yeah, the addictions came in, because what I was trying to deal with, I was trying to block out the thoughts of losing someone who I dearly loved, and so yeah, I started to drink. I started to use drugs, to the point where it just got completely out of hand. You know, it became unbearable, and to the point where I had no choice to stop. Otherwise, I would have been dead.
Yeah.
There was no other choice about it. You know.
Yeah.
And in that period of time, I lost everything. I lost my wife. I lost my children. I lost my business. Not just my dad as well. And I was pushing everyone away because I was so engrossed in just myself, for me and only, and drinking and my addictions.
Yeah.
That nobody else cared.
Yeah.
I didn't care about anyone else.
Yeah.
It was just me and me only, and I didn't give a fuck about whatever action, consequences, anything that was happening around me. If someone said something to me, it would either turn into a fight or aggression or the police. It got to the point where I had to stop. You know, I had to stop because. It just got to the point where.
So what was the breaking point for you?
I think the breaking point was losing my children and not seeing my grandkids being born was a massive part of me. The realization of, like, you know, you've got to stop this. And a good friend reached out to me and he said to me, "Have you ever been to AA?" And I hadn't had a clue what he was talking about, you know. And he said to me, "Look," he said, "just come." He said, "Just come with me one day." He said, "And see if you can get on with it and see if you like it." So I went to AA, which I don't know if you guys know is Alcoholics Anonymous. I went there one day and I sat down in this room. I was absolutely petrified of walking into the room.
So you got drunk before you went there?
I never got drunk before I went there, no, but I had a drink that day.
Okay.
I had a drink that day, but I never got drunk because I didn't want to go into the room and make a fool of myself.
Just a bit of Dutch courage.
Yeah, just a bit of Dutch courage to go in there. So I went in there and I absolutely broke down.
Yeah.
Completely broken person, crying, tears. And for some reason, I felt at home in there because everyone in that room, in the fellowship, they never judged me. They
were all the same.
They were all the same. All going through the same situation, you know. So I was never judged by anyone.
Yeah.
And I found that hard to comprehend because I'd always been judged as a person growing up, sort of thing, whether it had been my father's issues or my issues or someone else's issues. You know, I was always sort of judged. When I was big, I was judged. And it doesn't matter, I was always judged. But in them rooms, I found a bit of solace because there was no judgment in there at all, you know. So, and I walked out there feeling, well, do you know what? This has probably helped me. And they just said to me, look, all you have to do is keep coming back. You know, the more you come back, the more we can help you. And it did, and I kept going back, and it did help me to become clean, you know.
Well, I think, as you probably agree with me, all of the drinking buddies that you have, all of the time you spend in the pub, all of the time when you own a pub, you were probably giving people free drinks, free this. Everyone's your best mate.
Yeah.
But as soon as you give up alcohol, all the
They're
friends
gone.
disappear, don't they?
They're gone.
So really, they only need you for the addiction. It's the same with. I've spoke with people that were addicted to heroin, and that's their buddy they do heroin with. But as soon as you're clean, you've got no friendship. There's no friendship.
It's exactly the same with the drugs.
Yeah.
The drugs, you know, why you've got a pocket full of drugs, everyone wants to be your friend because they want to share your drugs. They don't want to buy any of their own. They want to smoke yours or sniff yours or whatever, you know.
Yeah.
And it's the same with drink, you know. While you've got money in your pocket and you've got a drink, they all want to be your friend. But unfortunately, when you stop drinking, all them people go.
So if we get back to that point, just a few weeks or whatever months before you finally went to AA, where would you say you was at in your head at the time and where your life was at the time?
I was on the verge of drinking and hoping that I was going to go to sleep and wake up. to the point
so
where
it was at that point.
I was at that point. I didn't want to be around anymore.
Did you even enjoy drinking then?
No, I never got any enjoyment out of drinking whatsoever, even in the beginning.
So it was pretty much a medication after
just a medication. It was a medication. I was self-medicating myself.
Yeah.
I never have had any enjoyment out of drinking. It got to the point where I had to drink to become well. So I would be waking up at 5 o'clock in the morning. If I didn't have a drink, I was ill. I was shaking. I would get dry retching. Typical alcoholic symptoms. So you have to drink. It's a vicious cycle. You know, a cycle, whatever you want to call it. You can't just stop drinking just like that because you become ill.
And there's not a lot of help for drinkers.
And there's not a lot of help for drinkers. You know, I used to go and see my GP. They wouldn't help me. AA helped me. I did it on my own. The first time I've actually relapsed in that time, which we'll move on to later. I did it on my own. I laid in bed for 4 weeks, so ill. I thought I was going to die. You know, I thought I just laid it.
What was your drink of choice?
It was cider or lager, cans of lager, to the point where in the end I'd probably drink 20 to 25 cans a day.
So that's not cheap.
It's not cheap. It's not cheap. It's a vast amount of money. You know?
And you know, for a lot of other people with drugs of choice, if you're just sniffing coke, you still go to work and stuff.
Yeah.
But with alcohol, it impairs you so much.
Yeah, it does impair me. But I was still working at the same time as well. Or to the best of my capabilities.
And what was you doing for work at the time?
I was scaffolding with a scaffold company.
So that can be very dangerous.
They're dangerous. You know, it's dangerous. I'm working at heights and I'm clearly drunk. Whether you're not drunk or you don't feel drunk, but you are impaired.
But for a lot of people that don't know scaffolding industry in England, like I never did scaffolding. Joe did, my brother. Yeah. But scaffolders are known for people to earn notoriously good money in a short period of time. Yeah. And be alcoholics or drug addicts.
And drug addicts. Yeah. It's known to be, you know, Friday night, fuck it, let's go down to the pub, we get on it, and
you would work on something like normally by price or meterage, right? So if you get jobs knocked out, you can go home by 1 o'clock.
1 o'clock.
And what do you do for the rest of the day?
You get out your nut, or you start drinking.
Yeah.
So that was the issue.
So most people I used to see in Clacton, you could go into a pub on a Friday, and people will be in their work clothes, and you'll see them in the same work clothes until Sunday.
Yeah. I've done it. Been there. I've done it.
Yeah.
Been there and done that.
And then you're that cycle of going back to work on a Monday and needing more alcohol
again. All happening all over again. But it really did grab hold of me to the point where I could not physically stop drinking.
So how did the scaffolding end?
The scaffolding ended because I was so engrossed in drinking that I had my own company. I got so engrossed in drinking that I was not committing myself fully to the business. I was running it, you know, and I was drinking, and I was not taking time out, but I was neglecting it.
Yeah.
To the point where the kids wasn't talking to me because it was a family-run business. The kids were running it, and I turned around and said to them, "Look, you know what? I think it's best you take over, do what you need to do. Your dad's not well, mentally, physically, and you take over and do what you need to do." I still believe to this day, if my dad had been alive, none of this would have happened.
Yeah.
Because he would have led me down the right path, and he would have grabbed hold of me and said, "Look, what the fuck are you doing?" You know. So this is not us.
Your dad was keeping the family unit together, kind of.
Exactly. My dad has always been the one that kept the family unit together.
Made the choices.
Made the choices, and
so with your dad going, how was that relationship with your kids? How did it break down?
Through my alcoholism.
So not being a good role model.
Not a role model, no. And they was embarrassed of their dad and some of the things I was doing. You know, so making bad decisions. Doing stupid things, getting in trouble with the police, losing my driving license, not just once, but 4 times.
Really?
You know, crashing cars and causing scenes and violent crime. It's just because I was drunk and not myself, you know what I mean?
And not being a good role model, how did some of your kids turn out? Did any of them turn into crime or?
I don't think through me they turned out into crime, but my kids was brought up the same way as I was brought up.
So the same cycle.
With the same cycle with the violence and all that sort of stuff. And I have actually got one child now who's doing a prison sentence now as we speak, a 12.5-year sentence.
Wow.
For a violent crime that he committed, not through no fault of his own. I must say, obviously he done it, but he was helping someone out, and it all went a bit wrong, and he got grassed up, and yeah, he suffered the sentence himself, because the way we was brought up is, you know, if you do your crime, you do your time. You don't bring anyone else into it. You know, you don't. You can't.
As most people watching this,
we don't do that. You know,
most people watching this. A grass is basically an English term for snitch. So it's
a snitch. Yeah,
someone that's going to give evidence to the police. And normally there was this old school mentality in criminals in England that you don't ever snitch on someone.
No, coming from the East End of London, it was a major thing. You know, you did what you did, and you never brought anyone else involved into it. You know, that's where the stories come was from years ago. My dad always said to me, if you commit a crime, tell no one. The only person who can get yourself nicked is yourself.
Yeah.
So if no one knows about it, then it is what it is, you know. Yeah. So yeah.
So I was pretty impressed yesterday, because I think you're one of the only people I know who's doing cold water on a daily basis, not just showers, but actually in the water for a long period of time.
Yeah. So I'm doing where I've changed now is what I'm trying to do is I do therapy. I do mental health therapy. To try and get my head straight. It's working. I go to, and I'm trying to put back into the community what I lost out of my life through drinking. I'm trying to re-educate people about what they can gain out of drinking. So I've got my own AA group, which I do on a Tuesday night. Anyone is welcome. Any alcoholic is welcome to walk in the door. I try to share my problems, and we all share our problems, to try and make them the better person, to stop them from drinking, from the education I know about what we do. The mental health side of it, I go to therapy. I will share my therapy with someone else if they want me to share it with them, if they want any help with mental health. I'm actually in the middle of doing some courses on some mental health stuff at the moment. So so that'll help as well. And I got a group of people. We run a group of cold water swimmers. As you know, cold water swimming is great for your mental health. So yeah, I'm trying to put back in as much as I can into the local community to make it better for people who suffer, because there is a lot of people suffering out there.
Yeah, of course.
That need help, you know. And I've been that person that was suffering at that time, and now I'm not. So I'm just trying to help as many as I can.
All the time that you lived in Clacton, I know you was doing your water sports when you was younger, but all the time you was living in Clacton, you was going through all these situations, you was in and out of pubs, on drugs, whatever. Did you ever look at the sea and think, I can go in there and sort my brain out?
Never ever did I ever think the sea would give it the power that it's got.
Yeah.
I never ever believed I had mental health issues until I was diagnosed with certain EUPD, ADHD, OCD, ADD, until I was diagnosed with this. And so yeah, I don't know where that come from, because years ago it was never spoken about.
I think my knowledge on the brain, I think that stuff like ADHD as a kid and OCD was coping mechanisms from trauma that he was going through. So, you know, someone could have an old man that was mean and horrible and come home drunk, then
for sure.
have, you know, problems with that afterwards, coping, like burying stuff and not knowing how to deal.
Yeah. I mean, I never had that as a child. My childhood was great, I must admit. It was great, apart from the violence that I had to see and endure and had to do things myself. Was made to do myself.
Because let's face it, violence, as much as people think they like violence, violence, it ain't a good feeling.
It's not a good feeling.
Fight, to be,
it's not a good feeling at all.
The feeling after having a fight, for most people don't know this.
Yeah.
The feeling afterwards, I would want to go to bed for a few days afterwards.
Yeah, it's not good at all, you know. And but unfortunately, I can't change the world I was brought into, and the family that I was brought into. So yeah, it stems back a long way.
So to break this cycle, what you're doing now, because you're not ending up, the way things were before.
Definitely.
What is your routine? How are you getting through day to day?
So day to day, I get up in the morning and I have to take medication for my mental health. I take my medication. I do some meditation. I think it helps me greatly. I sit quietly. I just sit quietly, calmly, let my tablets work, and then I plan a day. We do our mental health swimming. If I have to go to therapy, I do that therapy. And we speak about, I do a lot of speaks in groups. So every day I will speak in a group of people with regards to their alcoholism or their mental health, and try to help them of what they're going through and to put back into them. Just to trying to educate someone about, the mental health side of things and what you can do to help battle your addictions and do that sort of stuff.
Yeah, I think it's all about saving a life, because I think when you can look at youngsters and you can see how they're acting, you can see yourself in them.
Exactly.
Because you've lived it, right?
I've lived it,
I think there's a lot of people out there that have gone to universities, studied mental health, but they haven't actually lived it.
I haven't lived it.
And someone who's lived it, you understand everything, right? You've been through the mill and back, so you understand
and I think there's a lot of people out there with mental health issues that are scared to admit they've got mental health issues. And I think to the point when there's a lot of people out there that are drinking excessively. I mean, an alcoholic doesn't have to be a person who wakes up every day and has to have a drink. They can go out for a weekend and spend all weekend drinking. They still, if they're binge drinking, they are still literally known as an alcoholic. But to me, drinking wasn't, I never done it to be sociable. I never done it to be happy. I done it to block out the thoughts of the trauma of growing up as a child. The violence that I had to do was witnessed. The loss of my father, who was not only my dad, he was my best friend, and that. So yeah, I think my son going to prison for a long time was a big part of it as well. Yeah. Because I worked with my son on a close. We was very close, so that affected me in a way as well, which didn't help. And yeah, it was just a multitude of things really that started me drinking. And to be honest, until I was probably 30 or 40 years old, I probably never drunk at all really.
Yeah, I don't remember. I don't remember.
Socially, maybe going out of an evening.
When you had the pub and stuff, I don't remember you drinking. I never saw you drunk. I never saw you drunk.
And
I saw you always driving.
Yeah.
You was always driving a car.
Yeah, so, and I never was that person. Yeah. So it was, even now when I talk to people, they go to me, well, I don't remember you being like that, you know? But,
how would you say that you could help a community like Clacton and this whole coast, Clacton, Jaywick? How do you think the community can change things to help people? What would you say that there needs to be more of here?
I think there needs to be more awareness of mental health in Clacton, and the more awareness of drugs. I think a lot of people in Clacton are taking drugs, and there's no help out there to.
There was Open Reach, which I know is still going.
Open Road,
Open Road. That's it. Open Road.
There's Open Road, but like with any drug, you can take any drug you want. No one ever thinks they've got a problem until it grabs hold of you.
Of course.
But with men, as we know, bravado, we just think, okay, we carry on, it's all right, but it's not all right, because all you're doing is you're damaging your brain more and more and more and more and more.
I think it's like it with a lot of addictions, even food, the amount of bad quality food now.
Exactly.
Like I'm shocked going, like Jaywick I went to, they didn't even have a supermarket in the poorer parts, in the rougher parts around Jaywick Sand Beach. They didn't have even a shop that sold fruit and vegetables. Yeah. So how are kids going to be able to concentrate in school? How are kids going to be able to?
It's the same with the addiction with me with growing up as a child, Perhaps my addiction was food then. I mean, I got to the point where I weighed 43 stone. I was 268 kilos.
268 kilos. How much do you weigh now?
I weigh 80 kilos now.
Wow.
So,
yeah,
it took me a long time to get to where I am, but perhaps I've swapped one addiction for another addiction,
I think that's the way it works.
I think the way it works, and you tend to do that, and then, so yeah, I think Clacton needs to be more aware of the drug problem it has. I think it has quite a bad drug problem, Clacton.
Yeah, well, I think if I look around now, the amount of clubs, bars that used to be for drinking, it's slowly whittled down. There's not as many places.
There's not places to go. There's too much to drink no more sociably. I used to call sociably. So people have turned to drugs, and
this is good. Alex Davis has got this place. We've got snooker tables, pool tables, darts. This is good for the community as well.
It's good for kids, to come and enjoy themselves and to get them away from the Xbox or their phones or whatever they need to do, and to bring kids up in a society where they feel, I feel they need to be safe, because I don't think it matters where you go in Clacton as a whole. If you walk around any corner, I think you could probably find drugs anywhere you want to.
Yeah, I think I'm surprised. I'm actually shocked with the amount of policing. I haven't seen one police officer in a week since I've been here.
No, the policing is very, very bad, unfortunately.
And that's the fact, because growing up here as a kid, although it was rough as I got older, but as a young kid, like young teenager when I was still at school, it was a nice place growing up.
It was, definitely. It was a great place to grow up.
Down the beach every summer.
The summer was here, everyone was having fun, And as a kid, we all grew up. We had fun, we had good times, But
I think the good times left when the tourism left.
I think because of everywhere. I mean, you can walk around town now. Most of it's shut down.
Yeah.
That's affected it badly.
And then all that's in place is vaping shops, cheap takeaway places,
exactly, junk food,
everything for a quick fix.
Charity shops. It's all it's just. There's nothing. I don't think there's anything for kids to do in Clacton anymore. As growing up as a kids like we did,
It seems like now this area's got a lot of boxing clubs. So boxing clubs are still trying to drive a lot of kids in the community. There's a few gyms about, but even artistic stuff, learning photography. But there's no colleges anymore.
There is nothing.
I got into photography when I was living in another country. I never got into photography here because there was no one to teach me.
No,
there was none of that. So
exactly, there is nothing.
Everything
like that
here was related to drinking or drugs, sports, which came with a lot of violence anyway.
Yeah.
So it was just the same cycle over and over again.
Yeah, all over again. Yeah, and that's the way we lived, and.
So, if you have a message for people that want to join you on these AA meetings, or at home now drinking and watching this, or feeling low, or taking drugs, what would you say to these people?
Get to an AA meeting if you feel you have a problem with drink. Get to an AA meeting.
That's the first step.
They are worldwide. They are worldwide, out all over the world. There's an AA meeting anywhere you can look up and find it. You can go onto any website on Google and find an AA meeting. If you're in Clacton, you're more than welcome to come to my AA meeting, which is on a Tuesday night at Open Road, 7 to 8:30. No one will judge you. No one will do anything about you. You're in a safe environment with people of safe surroundings. We will try to help you get clean. At the end of the day, the only person who can get you clean is yourself, but we will support you in every way we can. With your mental health. With the AA, we can then try and supply you with some mental health help through Phoenix Futures and ARC, which will take you on board and try and give you the mental health help you need, and then perhaps refer you to a mental health society or something like that to help you with that. And then we can introduce you to some cold water swimming, which will help with your mental health as well. I run a group in Clacton. It's called the Chili Cockles Mental Health Swimming Group. You can find it on Facebook. And you're more than welcome to come along and have a swim with us. And no one's judgmental there. It doesn't matter what you've done in your past. Your past life is, what happened yesterday is gone. It's forgotten about. Today is a new day. You can come and join us, and you can feel part of our group and try and get yourself better, and that's my aim. My aim is after years of all the violence and and the stuff that I've been through, and seeing my son go to jail and suffering, and me being part of an infamous family. What I want to do is try and change that now, and be. My point is, if I can make one person a better person than he was before, I think I've achieved something.
I think it's a knock-on effect.
It's a knock-on effect, you know. So I don't want someone to grow up in the world that in the world that I grew up in, you know. Yeah. And going down the same slippery road. When I was growing up, it was the norm. A Sunday afternoon, my dad and all his friends, infamous friends, it was drinking time. Yeah. You know, they come home for dinner. There was a pub on every corner. You had a drink when you was in London. It was the normal thing, you know.
It was. Public house was always at the end of the road.
It was at the end of the road. I mean, your dad, as well as will know, you know. I spoke to your dad on some times about it. You know, we all grew up in the same era, and your dad was a friend of my dad's as well. You know, so as we know, they knew each other from London, and it was all part of the norm, you know. But it's not normal. It's not normal. It's not.
I think they were normal for them times. Now we're living in different times. So yeah, I think that we can we can always learn from the past and take some of that stuff and make a better future. You know, I think they were struggling at times with their problems. You know, a lot of this stems back from war. First World War, Second World War, traumas, their parents' traumas, and it passes on. But now we should be able to filter this out. And you know, hopefully.
Yeah. You know, I just don't want people to wind up. I mean, as you know, I've got a family now that are doing life sentences for killing people. I don't really want to blase on it too much, but you know, you're aware of the situation. I'm not going to mention any names, but they are my family. They're doing life sentences. I quite easily could have been doing a life sentence myself for some of the things that I've done with my dad. Luckily enough, I'm not. So, I just don't want people to make the same mistakes that I made. And the drink side of it didn't help, because I think if I'd have carried on drinking, maybe I could have gone back and done them sort of things again, and be doing a life sentence now myself.
Again, just
I haven't got it in me no more, you know. And I've always said I haven't got another relapse in me. I think if I relapsed now, I think I'll probably be dead, to the point where I did last year try to take my own life, because I did relapse last year for a certain amount of time. I met a girl who was heavily into drugs. I didn't know, heavily into drugs and drink, and I relapsed. It was the worst move I ever made. I was devastated, you know, in my own self, and it devastated my family. Again, I'd lost all my children after getting them back. Now I've got them back. I have a great life at the moment, you know. My motto is today, I can do anything I want to do today. The way I am at the moment, I'm happy, I'm content. I have a beautiful partner who takes care of me, you know. So, she's in a similar sort of situation to me, so we bounce off each other.
So relationships are, they're you know, they're 50-50. So
you know, we bounce off each other. So and we both got commitments which we both take seriously, you know. So and it's all good. But today I can do anything I want to do today. I can do anything I want to do. I can go out. I can enjoy myself. I can go for a meal. I can do anything I want to do. The only thing I can't do today is drink. I can handle that. I can handle that. That's perfect for me, you know.
So it's really for you getting over that stage, getting over the addiction. Once you got over the addiction, it's implementing them things every day that are helping you keep topped up.
Every day I have to do something.
You have responsibilities.
So I have to have a structure. I have to have a structure every day. So the night before, I will plan my next day out. That's the way I structure myself. So if I'm not swimming, I go for a run. I run 5K or 10K every other day. And I plan my day out, so every day I have a structure in my head of what I'm doing, which keeps my brain active and sane, so I know exactly where I'm going forward. most of my days are filled with therapy and AA.
But therapy can be a lot of things for people, like reading,
everything. Yeah,
running.
Yeah. Mine is talking and sharing amongst other people.
Yeah.
And learning from other people. I learn a lot from other people's past mistakes. You know, what they've done, it teaches me to understand the way they cope with their situations, and I take that on board. And it, you know, so
I think that's the problem with a lot of people. With if you went in a pub and you had two guys drinking, and both of them want to fight, it's normally because they're going through something in their lives.
For sure,
you're not just going to fight for no reason, but the drink brings it out.
Exactly,
it brings all the emotions up.
Yeah,
and so. If most people could, if them blokes were both sober at the bar and there was no drinks, and they said, "Are you all right, mate? What are you going through?" There wouldn't have been a fight. There would have been a conversation.
No.
And that's what people have got to learn. Don't go out and drink when you've got problems. Because it's only going to bring more
all
problems.
it does is it inebriates the problem and then it causes problems.
I've seen it many times growing up. You know? Especially in this area, I've seen it many times.
Unfortunately, with men, we don't tend to talk about our problems.
But we should be.
But we should do. You know, we should be talking about our problems and our addictions and our sufferings and our mental health. And that's what I'm trying to encourage men to do now. You know, with the cold water swimming. Come swimming with us. If you don't want to get in, come and have a chat. If you've got a problem, come and have a chat. I'm there. I can only tell you what I know. But if I don't know the answer to that, I can ring my sponsor. He may have the answer to that. If my sponsor doesn't know the answer to that, he will ring his sponsor, and he will get the answer to it.
That's fantastic. So it's a whole community.
So it's a community of people that are all in the same situation.
No one's suffering.
No one's suffering. You know, no one's got need, and there is no need for anyone to suffer in this world. You know, whether you're an alcoholic or you're an addict. Well, we're all addicts of some description. Whether it's drugs or drink, to me, it's both of them. So. So yeah, I just keep clean, keep my nose out of trouble, do my own thing, you know, and I'm happy doing what I'm doing.
You can always walk away. I know this was a thing that we was always told when we was kids, but it's true. You can always walk away.
You can always
change your perspective.
You can,
You know, tomorrow's another day, like you said.
Exactly.
Thanks a lot, Wayne. It's been a pleasure.
You're welcome.
It's great to see where you are now.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I was worried for a very long time.
Yeah, I know.
I know
you're
so
worried.
good to see what you're doing.
Yeah, I know.
And you look fantastic, mate. You've lost a lot of weight. You've come a long, long way, and I hope it keeps going. Yeah,
and hopefully we can come out to Poland and visit you guys.
Absolutely.
And we can do part 2. We can have another go, and then perhaps we can bring some more people out with us.
Absolutely, you can treat it as a nice
maybe I can bring some people with some addictions and introduce them to cold swimming in Poland, not here.
Yeah, exactly.
And see if they benefit from it in Poland, and we can do some more podcasts, and we can.
Absolutely, we have a big community there of Poland's got its own problems with alcohol too, and we've got a lot of people.
If they were, and perhaps if we could maybe in time, if AA is in Poland, I can go to a meeting there. I don't know how well their English is out there, but I can explain to them.
We can do a swap.
We can do a swap and come and do some exchanges. Maybe it'd be great to carry on and see how we get on. Yeah,
fantastic.
Great.
It's been brilliant. It's been brilliant catching up with you, mate. Thanks a lot.
Love you, mate. As
Love
always.
You too, mate. Absolutely.
As always.
Thank you very much.